United, our will is greater than any other force. We shall inherit the stars, even if we must first cleanse them in blood. Hello everyone, this is your host Legend, and welcome back to my channel. Last time I talked about Tacticus Planner, I mentioned how the app was a lot more complex than I initially thought, and I would like to go into more detail about parts of the app, and well, that's what I'm here to do. This one is fully dedicated to the LRE tab, and for the individual LRE, we will be using the upcoming Farsight Legendary Release event as our example. Let's not waste any more time and continue talking Tacticus Planner. Just to refresh, Tacticus Planner is a community-created tool for Warhammer 40k Tacticus. It was created by Severin, with its upkeep currently being performed by CPU Nerd, also known as the Tacticus creator Carnage, alongside several community contributors. The app allows you to input or import all information about your Tacticus account to help you develop and execute plans and further your knowledge of Tacticus. With a quick refresh on the basics out of the way, in my last video about Planner, I covered the overall basics of the app, from account creation to the options in the Learning tab. This worked out very well to cover a good chunk of the topics, but doesn't give a good view the depth they deserve. What I'm going to talk about in this video works best if you actually have an account made and synced via Tacticus API. So if you don't already have an account and everything hooked up, I suggest catching my last video on Planner and watching for those steps laid out from 1 minute 58 seconds to 4 minutes and 5 seconds in that video. Anyways, for those with an account already made or returning back to this video, we are going to dive right into the LRE options, which is under the Plan tab. Here we will see multiple options, which as of recording are Master Table, Trajan, Farsight, Dante, and Lucius. For this video, we will be focusing on the Master Table and Farsight tabs, starting with the Master Table. The Master Table is where characters are ranked based on all the points they can earn across all chosen LRE events. By default, this is set to only active LREs. This in no way shows who is and isn't a good LRE character, only how much they can score given the listed events. For filtering, we have options to show characters who you've placed for individual LREs, by who you have unlocked, or all characters in general, whether they are placed in an individual LRE, unlocked, or locked. Next to that is all the individual LREs in a pop-down menu so that you can adjust what is shown on the Master Table. For the Master Table itself, total shows how much a character can score and how many slots they can be used in across all events that are selected, followed by any selected LRE events and their individual score and slot count. By clicking on any of the points or slots options, you can sort by total or individual event to get an idea of how each character scored overall. For example, when sorting under total by highest score, we see that Rivas has the highest total between the selected LREs, with her being used in 17 different requirements. Looking at the breakdown between the other sections, we see 446 of those points and 6 of the 17 slots comes from the Farsight LRE. For an example of extremely low in both categories, we have T-Jark, who when we sort by lowest points or slots under the Farsight LRE, he only scores 43 points with a usability in 0 track requirements. To be fair, he isn't the overall lowest scoring for all active events. That is Jude with a score of 639 overall, and slots wise it goes to Isabella, with her being only usable in 6 slots. Do note you can sort these characters by name A through Z or Z through A, by their current rarity, or by their current rank, allowing you to know what character performs by who you have leveled, or by name if that is what you prefer. With that out of the way, let's talk about the individual LRE tab. And with Farsight's Legendary Release event coming up, it is a perfect opportunity to go over this. When we open up Farsight's LRE, we are greeted with the team screen, which shows each track, their requirements, and how your characters place based on those requirements. For this, we will be using the Alpha track as our example. The Alpha track doesn't allow you to use Imperials, and we'll see you facing off against Admechs, and we have 3 different ways to access who can be used based on requirements. Our first method is, while we have nothing selected, we will see who all goes where, and we can mentally note who fulfills each requirement, and build a team on those observations, but this truly is the hard way. The second way is by clicking on the checkmark by each requirement, or the requirement itself, which will sort characters by the options you have selected. For this example, by checking min 5 hits, no Terminator, and power damage, we can see that the only characters we can use are Anshi, Volk, Lucius, and Malgan Ra. This way is easier but will not be the best for most people. Finally, by clicking on a character under a requirement, a new table is opened up, showing us the selected track, an option to add a team name, an option to insert how many battles they should be able to clear, and the ability to sort by requirements. Once you've selected what requirements you wish this team to aim for, and fill in the info as you see fit, by clicking on a character or the plus button next to them, you can add them to this team. Clicking them again in the select area will deselect them. This is by far the best way to make your teams, since it will help to keep them better organized and is far simpler to use. For this example, I have selected and confirmed a team for minimum 5 hits and no Terminator armor requirements. Note you can have multiple teams under the exact same set of requirements. Now you can run through the rest of the requirements and select teams and build team plans with care in mind to the requirements you have already fulfilled. I.e., I ain't gonna make another minimum 5 hits, no Terminator team, since the no Terminator requirement is already fulfilled unless that team reasonably falls off by a certain battle number. After filling in the rest with just basic options, I can move on to the beta track. I do want to note that legendary release events require good game knowledge and understanding what makes a character good for that LRE and not. Just because someone can be used in a spot doesn't mean they are the best option. For example, under the power team I have Toth selected, and he isn't great for a power team, but is one of the best options I currently own and have leveled. You may have an even better option than I do, so keep in mind what makes characters good or bad. I am sure some other Tacticus creators have made a good guide for telling who is and isn't a good LRE character, and that shouldn't be too hard to find. If I remember correctly, I will find a video and link it in the description. Next is the My Progress page. This one is nice and simple. You just click the boxes for which battles and requirements you have fully cleared. Tokenomics relies on this data, so let's fill it out with our estimated clears, plus limiting ourselves to the 68 tokens you get if you play every token you get for free without capping. By the way, this total comes from the 55 you'll gain from recharging, your 6 starting tokens, and the 7 you can get from ads. Before I recorded this, I had a team set up that I will show through the slides that I did a test with this. With all 68 tokens used, I was projected to miss 16,250 points, even by event 3 if I went free to play. If I am reading this right, which I doubt I am, and either way, these predictions are more accurate by event 3, if I were to get every pack plus premium, I can reach the mythic unlock by event 3 with my current teams and plans. And as I stated, your predicted outcome will become more accurate after you play the LRE, fill in what you actually got, and as events come and go. By event 3, you can basically guarantee tokenomics is accurate. And finally, tokenomics will show you where your next token is most likely best spent. I say most likely best spent simply because I'm not sure how this is calculated. Now we can talk about the Battles tab, which is simple enough. Choose a track, which battle you want to preview, and you will be able to see what you will be up against by wave, the wave's power score, and the total power score of the battle. Now finally, for any of these individual LRE tabs, we have the Leaderboard tab, which is basically the same as the Master Table, but only for the individual LRE you are previewing. Once again, this doesn't show you who is the absolute best LRE character for that individual LRE, only who can score the most based on the parameters you filter for. And that is about it for all the options under the LRE tab, and this video as a whole. Again, I want to encourage you to mess around and find out more about Tacticus Planner on your own time. It truly is one of the best resources we currently have for Tacticus. Just like my previous video, I will have links to Tacticus Planner, Tacticus API, the Tacticus Planner Discord server, and alongside those I will have links to the Pants of Horus Discord server and the main Tacticus Discord server, since all these resources and communities are super helpful and are more than willing to help you further along if you're confused about Tacticus Planner or Tacticus as a whole. That's all from me for now. This is your host Legend, signing off.